Planeteers. I'm Catarina Canelas. I'm a journalist at CNN, and it's wonderful for me being again here in Planeteers World Gathering, here with you and here with these three amazing speakers to talk about beneath the surface. Whoa, what a challenge. The ocean pollution, sustainable economies, and the impacts of climate changes. So with me I have Luís Menezes Pinheiro, Associated Professor in Marine Geology and Geophysics at the University of Aveiro. You are at home. Welcome. Luís Simões from Ocean 52 in Portugal, and Alexandros Koukovinis. I hope my Greek is okay. He's an European projects consultant at LOBA. So thank you so much again for being here with us. So Luís, I start with you. So you're the right voice to talk about the problem of ocean pollution in the framework of the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. So there are so many things that I want you to share here with us, but first let's look to a short video that you brought us. So I ask you to pass the video, please.
Ocean Decade Challenge number 1. Understand and beat marine pollution. How do we move from the ocean we have to the ocean we want? Today, we see plastic waste everywhere, from the ocean depths to the remotest islands of the Pacific. Yet the ocean is also menaced by pollution we cannot see. Untreated sewage, pesticides and fertilizers, toxic chemicals, heavy metals and other harmful substances. They're not just a threat to marine life, but also to human health and livelihoods. The Ocean Decade is an opportunity to identify, map, and reduce these sources of pollution. Working hand in hand, scientists, businesses, governments, and many other groups can create and roll out solutions that eliminate pollution at the source, reduce its impacts, and deliver a clean ocean for us all. And as consumers, we all have an important role to play over the next 10 years to beat marine pollution. In the ocean we want, we embrace habits of buying and consuming that help keep our ocean clean and healthy. Are you up to meeting this Ocean Decade Challenge? Join us today.
So, understand and beat marine pollution. Whoa, what a challenge. The oceans are screaming. So please tell us more about nowadays situation, because we see plastic, not micro or nano plastic, and we can't see fertilizers, medication, chemicals, heavy metals, and so on, and whoa. So how can the Ocean Decade make the real difference?
Okay, so good morning everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here. It's a pleasure and an honor. So one of the things that we realized, based in particular on the World Ocean Assessment that we first did at the United Nations, is the current state of degradation of the ocean. And since this is a global problem, because with the ocean currents and also with the ocean atmosphere interaction, anything that you do in one place will be influencing the whole planet. Because, as you know, we now talk not about oceans, we talk about ocean basins, but we talk about a single ocean. So it's a global problem, and if we want to tackle this problem, the only way is to involve the different states, and that's why the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission, which is at the UNESCO, in which I represent Portugal, we decided to create the Ocean Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. So the idea is to bring together the different states, the different member states. So we proposed this and it has been approved by the United Nations. So now we have 193 countries. And the idea is that we create not only a global vision of the problem. So when we talk about microplastics and macroplastics, this is the common issue, but ocean pollution, as you've seen in this very short vision, is much more. Now we have problems with pharmaceuticals, which is also some of these things that we cannot see. We can see macroplastics, but we cannot see microplastics and nanoplastics. And they are now coming back to us. So what we are trying to do is to do not only directives at the European level, which are being translate it into the different European nations. But also at the level of UN, we did a major breakthrough, I think, in Nairobi in 2022, in which we have a huge number of countries subscribing the need for a legally binding instrument to be operational in 2024 to address the plastics issue. So I believe we are doing a lot, and the main thing is that we involve everyone. So the decade is inclusive. We want to involve not only the academics, because we need to find the solutions based on the best science and develop the technology that can help us to get rid and to handle this problem. And then we need the education. Education is fundamental, because many times people do wrong things, not because they are just stupid, but because they don't know, they don't understand the full problem.
And we are going to talk more about that later, but we are talking here about plastic pollution and little pollution and all the other kind of pollution that we don't see at the oceans, but we are facing another huge problem that are climate change, and climate change has the real impact in the ocean. So how can we deal with it? Because it's a clock ticking.
Yes, well, the fact is that, as most of you will know, the ocean has a key role in regulating the climate. So it distributes the temperature all over the planet, but it sequestrates. It's one of the main possibilities to sequestrate CO2 and methane and so on. So highly potentially greenhouse gases. And therefore, what is happening is that with the increase of temperature, in which we have a significant contribution, the humanity, because we can see that although climate change has been there for all the history of the Earth, and in the past 400,000 years, we've had 4 peaks similar to the one we have now. But what we see is that since the Industrial Revolution, we have a peak in the amount of CO2 that we have in the atmosphere. So if we increase this temperature, we diminish the gradients that make the ocean circulation, particularly the deep ocean circulation, so what we call the thermohaline circulation, it may slow down. If it slows down, it will decrease the possibility of carbon sequestration from the ocean. So we need to reduce these sources of pollution. I think a lot has been done, but it's a complex problem, so we have to look at all the opportunities, and sustainability has to do with changing the paradigm in which we take the attitudes and then we try to find solutions for the damage. Now we have to think first and act later.
And act later. Thank you. Luís Simões, this is your quote that I'm going to read now. So there are many ways to help to protect the ocean, but all of them starts with passionate people living up to their dreams. So I think this is beautiful. And so you will tell us more about your dream, but first let's see 2 short videos that you brought us.
My name is Mathieu Crepel. I'm a pro snowboarder, a surfer.
I'm Leanne Karen. I'm a surfer and musician.
My name is Santi Mier and I'm the co-founder of Ocean 52.
The ocean is the major source of life, and we are killing it.
Every year, we throw more than 8 billion kilos of plastic in the ocean.
If we don't act right now,
By 2050, there will be more plastic than fish in the oceans.
This is why we have created Ocean 52, the only company in the world that devotes 52% of its profits to ocean protection activities.
we fight 52 weeks a year against the excess of plastic in the ocean.
So why choosing the aluminium can?
Aluminium cans are the most recycled packaging in the world.
Aluminium cans are eternally recyclable. They don't lose quality.
Aluminium is lightweight, easy to transport, and easy to cool as well.
More than 75% of the aluminium ever produced is still in use.
A recycled can uses 95% less energy than producing a new one.
We need you. It's time to react.
If you want a no plastic ocean, easy, choose no plastic water. In the name of the ocean and all the ocean lovers, thank you.
Look at this kook. What's up, brother?
Gang, gang. Okay, guys, so where should we go?
Let's pull up Sir Plastic Report.
Oh, yeah, right, let's see.
There's a nice little south swell on Ocean Beach. It says there's over 3,000 plastic bottles floating around.
Should we check out Pacifica?
Even worse, 6,000.
Wait, I got one.
Yeah?
Half Moon Day.
Yeah, there's no way.
What are you talking about? There's all
Yeah.
these microplastics and synthetic fibers. You know that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get sick again.
It's
No.
fine.
No,
Sorry, we
it's
can't.
not
Closed
fine.
mouths.
Touch me.
We did it last time.
Okay, well, I don't want to do it this time.
It's not gonna happen, man.
Luís, what is the role of Ocean 52 and what do you do to help mitigate the marine pollution here in our country and abroad, because you have lots of projects working now, in which you are working now?
Good morning to the audience. I bring a little gift for you. I have my kids in here. Caio, Luca. I give this.
You can put it on a pocket. Yes, thank you.
Anna.
This is a surprise for all
Just
of us,
surprise
even for
the
me.
audience.
So we have here a little boy.
One.
Two little boys.
Pardon, filho.
And a little girl.
Obrigado. Beijinho.
So Luís is going to give us examples, real examples of what they are doing. And I don't know if you need help, Luís.
Sorry, this is my
Do
legacy.
you want help?
Yeah.
You can put on the table there,
Yeah.
and I think people can see
Sorry,
it.
this is quickly. This is vegan pastel de nata.
Ah,
It's a
wonderful.
version to help
Thank you so much.
the world.
Ah,
And you from Portugal? From
Thank you.
Ocean?
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
I understand what you brought us. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for this gift and for the little children that are here with us and that are hearing what we are saying, because you are the future generation. So it's wonderful for me. It's really wonderful for all of us having children here with us. But we are going to talk about this project also. But first, I want you to tell us the projects that you do that involve everyone.
yeah. So, our question in Ocean 52 is simple. The ocean gives us alert. The planet don't arrange this pollution around the seas. We have a big problem. So, our idea is so simple. Is help the people with formation, with a new type of product. For us, it's not only the product, but show to the people that we together we can change this. So they are in our hands to help to do the things and put the hands to do the difference. So our studies, we like our product, aluminium, not just to have more product in the market, but one bottle to recycle all life. So this message is simple.
And you are going to speak more about this bottle
Yeah.
and this project
Yeah.
later. But you involve also in your projects people in cleaning the beaches, and how do you do that? How do you involve all these people?
This is a new project. Okay, we begin in the last year in Portugal. It's a very new product. So the idea is Ocean 52. They help with 52% of your profits. You sometimes they told, but how you contabilize all the things? Every year we have a company that do like an auditor to do this for us. So our example is in local in local zones, we have local organizations that we're going to invest to do this, okay? Around Portugal, we have a lot of these in Peniche, in Fontatelha, in Costa da Caparica. We're already a very good organization, little girls, boys, that go every week to the beach, cleaning the beach. So our idea is invest in these little people, in these little teams, to together we pass the messages of this. Okay?
Thank you. So, Alexandros, thank you so much. With all your experience, you can bring us to this table, to this conversation, an European perspective, which is also very important. So let's talk about the Blue Rev project, but first we are going to watch the short video that you brought us.
Our planet is defined by its ocean, and so are we. The European continent is surrounded by seas with unique characteristics, challenges, and opportunities. 40% of Europe's population lives within a coastal area, and many European societies are shaped by their links with the sea. Now, imagine a world where the blue bio-based sector breathes new life into local communities. Welcome to Blue Rev. This is an EU-funded, ambitious project that aims to transform the blue economy sector across Europe. With pilot regions in Denmark and Greenland, Italy and Estonia, we are on a mission to revitalize local communities with innovative bio-based business, governance models, and social innovations. Pollution, overfishing, ecosystem degradation, and a lack of infrastructure and skilled personnel to bridge the gap between production and end users are significantly impacting our oceans. These issues not only disrupt the delicate balance of marine ecosystems, but also pose a grave threat to the livelihoods of numerous local coastal communities. As we face the tide of change, remember that the fate of our oceans lies in our hands. By working together, we can transform our seas into thriving havens of life and secure a sustainable future for both our oceans and the communities that depend on them. Blue Rev will employ existing or advanced monitoring systems to assess the effectiveness of the value chains and come up with new solutions to improve governance frameworks and business models. By engaging relevant actors, we aim to raise global awareness, support the development of knowledge-based policies, and promote the best practices towards a sustainable blue economy. Another future is possible, a sustainable, competitive, and climate-neutral future. But how? A new paradigm for revitalizing the blue economy and local communities is needed. Blue Rev will change the tide, inspiring innovative thinking, promoting new partnerships, and ensuring social justice. Join us on this journey of innovation as we create lasting change, one community at a time. The oceans cannot wait, and neither can we.
The oceans cannot wait. So after we've watched this, tell us in your words, in a few words, what are you trying to achieve every day?
Okay, hello everyone, and nice to be here with you. Thank you for the invitation. So I would like to start with a little joke. So does anyone know what the ocean said to the beach? Well, nothing, it just waved. But this might have been the truth many years ago, but now we are actually, as you saw from the speakers here, in an era that the oceans are screaming, like you started, and we are actually seeing with our eyes the problems, like huge garbage patches in the Pacific Ocean, of which actually, a very interesting fact is that 76 to 86% of all that plastic that is there accumulated comes from fishing activities. So we considered very important to focus also on the blue economy, and we came together, this consortium of partners, trying to work with the local communities, because we believe that change can happen only when you include the local communities. So the people that are actually working in the sea, the people that have their income based on that, and the local communities that also have their job positions in the sea and are dependent from the maritime activities. We really believe that these are the kind of people that you need to involve in the change that you want to inspire. Together also what was mentioned earlier with research institutions and also policymakers. If you do not bring those people together, you might push some change, but it might even cause a backlash from the communities and not work or even make things worse. So in Blue Rev, what we are trying to do, as it was explained better than I could in the video, we are looking in these pilot regions as examples, trying to understand the economies there, how do they work, what are the business models they are implementing, and what is going to be the element of innovation that we can bring in that in order to create new income streams, for example, utilizing the side products of fishing in a better way, not throw anything away. So try to find such ways that, of course, come from research and innovation. This is a very important aspect that we need to embrace if we want to create change. Bring that into their realities and to try to support them with a framework. How can they create like a newer business model for a more sustainable way to gain their profit from the sea, but also looking towards the future for the more healthy oceans.
And it's very important that people who are here and listening to us knows this is a very challenging process, because one of the most difficulties that you face is to change minds. And a blue economy depends on that, depends a lot on that, not just only in science and industry, but changing minds to involve the communities, because otherwise we don't go anyway. So that's a challenge.
Yes, it's a big challenge, and that's why I think it's important
because
to
the world is not the same.
Yeah.
One ocean, but different kinds of people, of countries, and realities.
I think it's important in that way to look into a holistic, but also on a local approach. So one of the things that came from the research was that the policies are not very well streamlined. So there are problems. The ministries, for example, data from Sweden said that the ministry that is related to the ocean is very segmented. So they cannot come together with policies that can help towards more sustainability or to give support to the communities, like some funds that are missing in order to implement different ways of fishing, more sustainable ways of fishing, or a transition to green energy. This is very important. What you were saying earlier, how do we fight climate change? We need to use sustainable energy resources in the fishing activities, for example. You are in the sea, you need to be sustainable. And for that, you cannot do this by yourself. You need the support of the government and to have a more approach that brings people together.
And that's more important, people. We are all people and we depend one of each other. So, Luís, we want to do more, of course, but we need and rely on European directives. That's the real truth. So, but it's also the role of the United Nations. And because we are talking about the only intergovernmental organization that can promote and obtain consensus in 193 countries. So how can we do this?
Well, as you know, even when you discuss at home to see a TV program, you see the difficulty it can be sometimes when you have different ideas from the different people involved. Being able to mobilize 193 countries is, of course, difficult. And nowadays, many people are challenging the role of the United Nations. But I would like to recall that it's the only place where we can put all these countries together, where the minds are not easy and we work in consensus. That's not easy. But when it's done, it makes a difference. For instance, I will just give you an example. In order to be able to protect the ocean, we have to understand it. And so observation is absolutely critical. And so we run the Global Ocean Observation System, GOOS, and before the buoys that we use, they are floating buoys and they drift in the ocean, they could only measure temperature and salinity, which was very little, and so we decided that we needed biogeochemical parameters, even to understand ocean acidification, eutrophication, which is the loss of oxygen, and also everything connected with the changing temperature as well. And so, as some of these parameters, they can be very sensitive for some countries because they can give you information on productivity in the countries and so on.
Of course, we are talking about
And this
different
has been
countries,
difficult.
political issues, and,
Yes,
and all
but
of that.
what was
Yeah.
possible is that we were able to discuss together, and we came to a set of parameters. Now we have 7 parameters, which have been agreed by everyone. We decided the protocols when these boys drift and go into economic exclusive zones, what should be done and so on. And so now we can do it, and we are doing it already. So I believe it's through this, but of course, it's very important, I think. Ocean literacy is critical, so creating a society, and this is something that we are doing a lot in the terms of the Ocean Decade, is to create a literate society, because we need to realize that each of us has a role, as my colleagues have mentioned. And so this is the main message that we have to pass. So everyone has a role, and it is the voters that will also influence the governments. And therefore, what we need is that the governments have a perspective, a long-term perspective, instead of the 4-year or similar to that
Yes,
period.
because we are just talking about numbers and a short period of time, but we can't deal with this.
We can't deal with that.
Like this
and we
way.
have to change the paradigm of waste,
course.
as it has been mentioned. So it's not sustainable to continue to use a society of waste in which we throw away things and we don't recycle them as we should. Because even if we do exploit all the resources, even in the ocean, this will not be enough if we don't change our minds. And sustainability means that we want to be able to use the resources we need, but we need to protect the next generations, and we have the responsibility to leave them a planet as good or much better, I think, than the one that we received. So it's our responsibility, and we have to do something.
We can't consume this way also, because in this economic model it's unsustainable, because we need 2.5 planets. It says the science.
Yeah, I normally give an example, which I think it's very, it shows the problem. In my area, in my labs, I have quite a lot of computers, and some of the monitors, they just stopped working because the on-off button didn't work. So I took it to a shop and said, okay, can you please change this? And they told me, well, you cannot just change the button, you have to change the whole plate. This will cost you about, I don't know, 80 or 60 euros, and then it will be 1 more hour of work. So I can sell you a new one for about this price, which is much better, the new higher resolution and so on. And I did not believe it so much, so I took it to the electronics department, and from 6 we could recover 1. So this is a total waste. It's totally stupid. We should oblige the private sector and the industry to provide, as they used to do before, spare parts for everything they do. So you don't need to throw these things away, because in the end they will end up in the ocean or polluting the earth.
It's a very good example you brought us now. Alexandros, as I said at the beginning, you are very important. It's very important that you bring us the outside perspective and you brought us. So tell us more about the opportunities of the European Commission with the funds that they distribute in European projects, and how this can make the difference in the future. And we are talking about a short future.
Yes, I will use a bit here my cabula, just to let you know some interesting facts. For example, in the blue economy, from a recent research from the European Commission, it showed that 4.5 million people are working in the blue economy with a turnover of 670 billion. It's a lot of money. It's a very big industry that includes maritime activities, fishing, includes the creation of vessels, so a lot of activities related to the sea, even touristic activities. So this economy, in a recent communication on 2021 from the European Commission, it was stressed that it's a very important part, that we pay a lot of attention to blue economy if we want to achieve the European Green Deal goals, which is to be the first the zero emissions continent, and also to have climate neutrality. We cannot look just at the green part, we have to look very much in the blue part. So after that, they try to boost a bit the funds that they are putting into European projects. And when we say European project, as you saw the example of Blue Reef, it's a consortium of partners that come together with a common mission. We submit a document, our mission, to the European Commission, and we get the funds to implement that. So just to give you some examples to understand the money that the European Commission is putting in such projects, we have opportunities like the European Maritime Fisheries and Aquaculture Fund that has around 6 billion euros for the period 21 to 27. There are the Horizon Europe projects that also have 95 billion euros, and everyone can apply for that. And also Interreg programs that are focusing on specific areas in the European continent. Apart from that, the European Commission also launched the Blue Invest Fund, which is a platform that you can connect there with investment opportunities, and you can search what is in your area, but also in the European continent. So there are many initiatives, and it is open to everyone to apply to get such a project as Blue Rev in order to make a change. And the good part, in my opinion, is that you are funded to do these activities. You can bring people with expertise in your consortium and make sure that what you are creating is something that's going to be useful in the future.
Of course.
With no restrictions in access, of course.
Thank you. Luís, besides the project that you told us before, you are also in the way of the blue and sustainable economy. What is the no plastic water now, this can that we have here, and the funds that you dedicate to save the ocean also, because it's 52% of the funds. How can you manage this, and how can you have the profits? So people can understand that in blue economy, you can have it all, and you can do it right.
Yes, one of our commitment is with the ocean. So we are a brand. You have to have a brand. We have office. We have cars. We have all the things. So our idea is to join how the financial part with the help for the oceans. So for us, our objective, the locals are everything, because they are the guys that know all the things. What you are to try, it's our, you can call, not blue, just blue economy, but local economy.
Yeah. And local economy.
So when you do like a cleaning beach, if you go like to a beach, we try to have a certain bar or a certain local, because the people can lunch there, can do like increase some financial for the locals. We have to have the idea that these things gonna happen if all together may earn money, because you know the money have to, how you Luís told, because money can buy better computers, but we can earn money but give information to the people, because we have a role to do. So we people have a role to do. So we can join this, earn money, have a brand, and help the planet, because this is not our. This planet is. I say to my child that the planet is like a renting, because we stay here with age from the 0 to 80 to 90 depends. But we have to clean. We have to take care. Is because we not own the planet. We just live in that. So for everyone, it's the object that we can clean the things, we can recycle, we can continue use these things. Yeah, we can continue how the things you do. Like you say, we have 2 planets and a half to have our way of living. This is not good. So I think we have to act now. Okay?
And we have. Thank you. Alexandros, can you give us some first insights, I don't know if it's possible, but from the data that you are collected in the pilot regions that you told us about this business model and currently used in the local economies?
Yes, of course. What we have done at this point, because we are still at a starting stage, we have looked into the concerns of the people and tried to understand what can be done better. So what I can bring actually here is to stress some of the factors we saw more highlighted into our research. For example, in the part of ocean pollution, one thing we should not overlook is the problems beneath the surface of throwing that part that with the huge nets that you drag in the bottom, you destroy all the natural habitat, and also the bloom of the red algae that is a phenomenon happening around, which are impacting the local communities. So this is of major concern. How can we work, can we prevent things from happening and also work with natural phenomena as red algae? There is a need for sustainable opportunities in the fishing activities and also for climate change. As I said earlier, a lot of companies are becoming more concerned that they want to start using renewable energy. Apart from that, there is a screaming need also for innovation, and people understand that they need to collaborate with other stakeholders in their environment if they want to achieve something. These, I would say, are the main concerns of the people, and what we are doing now in the next stage is to bring them together into some workshops, discuss about solutions, and also to give them some nice examples of research and innovation that they can utilize for their business plans. So I would say the concerns can be unnatural phenomena like plastic and everything, but also natural phenomena that happen because of everything.
And the part that we can do something about it, we can control it, of course. Luís, science and scientists are more committed than ever in fighting for the ocean survivance. So, but there must be an integrative perspective, as you said before, that includes every one of us. Not only the science, not only the politics, not only the industry, the companies. What is Portugal doing right now? And I know this is a difficult question, but you understand it.
No, it's a very, very, really timely question. Actually, Portugal, we have been doing quite a lot, and I just would like to make a quick reminder. I believe that in Europe, and when we are discussing this at an European level, we live in a bubble, okay? So, although we have a huge number of issues that we need to change and so on, our situation is orders of magnitude better than in other continents. And so when we look at the problem of pollution, of the health of the oceans and so on, we have to look globally. Because what will happen in China will come to us, so it's not an issue. And actually, for instance, we are discussing the questions. I'm not going away from your question, but we are discussing the issues, for instance, whether we need to exploit some resources and so on. But actually, in Europe, we are not doing it, but we are relying that this is being done elsewhere on dreadful conditions without any environmental concerns and so on. So we have to look at the problem globally. What are we doing in Portugal? So Portugal, although the...
Excuse me,
yes?
let me just interrupt you, because
please.
Before we talk about Portugal, you said something very important, because we have one side of the globe that it's far away and far away and far away in science, in politics, and we are doing everything we can. And we have the other side of the globe with another kind of realities, with some people that is major concern is, what am I going to eat today?
Exactly. In some areas, or can you tell some people in India that the only way they can heat their houses or cook their food is using coal?
Of course.
And you tell them, no, you cannot use coal.
This is very...
How can you change societies which are based on fossil fuels from a moment to the other? And actually we are also sometimes not propagating so much the idea, but what we are doing now is we are replacing fossil fuels by metals. And this means that we will have to use metals. So if you want to use, we need rare earths, we need all... People forget many times that when you arrive home and you click and you hope to have light in your house, you are using copper, you are using everything. When you use hybrid cars, when we build power plants, wind farms and so on, so we need all these materials. So we need to change the paradigm.
And there's another issue. We talk about the oceans, and sometimes we forget we don't have oceans. We have one ocean.
Exactly.
So what happens in China, what happens in the US, happens here. what I do here, it will have the consequences
Exactly.
in the other side of the world. But now talking about Portugal.
Okay,
sorry.
in Portugal, what we are doing now, so lots of things have been done. We've been using lots of sets of legislation, some from Europe, some from Portugal. And the thing is that we, for instance, in the question of plastics, small examples like that you have to pay for a plastic bag, particularly the education, when you tell children and they go home and they'll tell their parents, okay, if you go to the supermarket, bring your bag. Because the plastic should be not demonized. It's a very noble material, but it should be used sustainably in a responsible way. So what we are doing in Portugal is lots of efforts concerning education. For instance, now we have a program that is being run already for several years, also with the Foundation Blue Ocean, Fundação Oceano Azul, in which, and with cooperation of the Ministry of Education, in which we are bringing ocean literacy to schools. And now we are starting to work in the scope of the Ocean Decade on bringing it to the other levels. So what Portugal has just done, it created a national committee for the decade. We started in 2023, it should have been started in 21, but it's better late than never, which is involving now 7 ministries. And the idea is that we bring together, it will have a forum of stakeholders, which will have not only the academia, private sector, educational sector, NGOs, and so on. And so the idea is that we together try to find the ways to revert this, look for new technology to solve the problems, and educate the people so that we get over this overconsumption that we do, which is unsustainable.
Thank you. Luís, you involve communities to do the beach cleanup, as we said, in the country, and there's always more and more people involved in this. They do this service for all of us when we go to the beach cleanups, and I think everyone here, I hope everyone here has tried at least at once. We go for all of us. So is this kind of contagious that you want? And what do you expect for the future generations? You brought us your child here, and what's the dream that you talk about, that I talk about in the beginning?
My dream is that the people learn that, how is Luís say, that sometimes we don't have to find a guilty, or it is not the guilty of plastic or metal or these things. So we have to give education to the people to try to do his roles, because it's very important. If you don't give to the people, for example, you have one beach with 2 or 3 kilometers. You don't have a garbage to put the garbage. You don't have garbage for with the, like we call ecoponto. What you can do? So it is like a common effort of the people and the state that have to support this. When you go to the beach or something like that, or to a swimming pool, for me, I am the guy that normally I have trash in my pocket, because sometimes we have to walk like a half kilometer to put the trash. So I think it's a common effort to the people, to the brands, but the states, as Alexandros says, have to have laws to enforce this. I think one of the examples of the supermarkets, when they change and the consumer begins to pay,
the bags,
the things change because I see my aunts, they have 60 years, and say, oh, now I have to go to supermarket, but I have this bag in here, because now it is a lot of money, 20 cents, you know. So it's like a common effort for this. So we have to continue with this. We continue give formation, try fight to the government that put these things in the beach, all the things that we can utilize for that. Okay.
Thank you. Our time is running out, but I saved something for these final moments. That it's probably, and I want to share this with all of you, the most symbolic object I keep in my journey, in my own journey for the planet and for the ocean. In my hand, you are going to see it better, but in my hand here, I have a piece of cup of Old Spice. The brand is not important, but it's just because most of you know it. And this was found by me and my husband on one Algarve beach. So I want you to please to watch a short homemade video. So I'm sorry for that, but it was possible. So, okay, we just had a knife and it took us 5 hours to take this piece from a rock because it wasn't on the sand, it was on the rock. So I can tell you that this plastic object here is older than most of us. This cup was made in the 60s, 70s decade of the last century. I contacted the brand, and it's almost intact and new. And at least it has 50 years old. So this is the legacy we are living. And it's a part of a battle we have to fight. So in the next 60, 70, or 100 years, my trash, my plastic, your plastic doesn't end up in a beach on the Algarve, in a beach on Caribbean, or in a beach in Asia, for instance. So thank you all. Thank you to the three of us, and thank you all for being here with us, and enjoy the rest of the day here together in Planeteers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.